Sex, porn, love addiction is all about self soothing to manage your emotions. It got set up back in the childhood development years. It's just not about sex, it's not about porn. It's all about the repeated use has set up the physiology to crave those dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, self manufactured drugs in the body. It's impacting women, men, children aged 10 to 75 across all the age ranges, the sexes, the cultures, the professions. It increased exponentially during COVID lockdown and impacting so many lives. The Kairos Center has created the first online comprehensive sex porn love addiction. It's a video on demand recovery program which you can access from anywhere in the world and begin to see identifiable changes just within 6 weeks of beginning this weekly program. Kairos means your appointed time. Isn't it your time to reclaim your life? Bring color back to life without shame. Click the link below and begin your journey. You owe it to yourself and to others.
And she may actually present that, oh, all I'm after is a quick rump. A lot of people try and not sugarcoats way, but mask what they're doing by saying that, no, I'm not after any real intimacy. I just want to have sex with no commitment.
Yep, there are those that are out there doing that. Yep.
Yeah. And some women may feel that is the case, but in order to mask the kind of, maybe, as you said, a lot of the shame perhaps or guilt they may be experiencing, that may be the masking of it.
Absolutely.
Through telling herself that, right?
Yeah.
And to lessen the judgment that she may be facing internally.
Well, that would be a brave one, Caroline, for women to accept. It's okay for men to sow their seeds and to do all sorts, but for a woman to say, I'm just after the sex, ooh, that's brave. 21st century is allowing them to be able to be independent and say that, but most women wouldn't be brave enough yet to say, I'm just doing it for the sex with no commitment. That's very modern. Many women would with their girlfriend, but not publicly, because it's tut. Ooh, women don't. We know men do, but ooh, So I'm not making a judgment about it. I'm just saying most aren't going to be shouting that very loudly. They're going to be on the websites with no commitment, type of sex, etc. But you're not going to shout about it because there's shame about being known and seen to be doing that, because women don't do that, do they? It's just the men, will do that. Yeah, so I'm not sure many would come out and be as bold as to be public that I'm just doing it for the sex.
Yeah, and I suppose that with the over 40s, we're born a generation where our reputation was what was very important, right? Our sexual reputation for women over 40s. The younger generation, the millennials and younger, they seem to have a different perspective on things.
They do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
So that's very, all of these things are really helpful for the over 40s to discuss. And so we're going into the areas where there may be kind of assumptions or stereotypes, right, with porn and a sex and addiction. So we're looking at gender, and also with porn, children. Because obviously, considering the children, they go through a normal sexual development, right? They go through a normal sexual development, and a part of it is exploring, right? And so their exploration right now, as you were saying, that can lead, if you think about it, if they've been exposed to this over a long period of time, then they may not understand what real intimacy involves.
Absolutely.
True intimacy.
Absolutely. Yeah? But it's more than that. They're storing up something which by their 20s is going to manifest in some psychosexual problems for many of them. Yeah.
Right.
Because of just becoming too sensitized from that one partner's body because I've dined out on 50 a month other bodies. So being able to get aroused, keep an erection, being able to have orgasms with this person rather than me, myself, and I, because I learned to masturbate. And that's the sexual template I carry as the best, ultimate best. So even after sex with him, I go to the bathroom and do myself properly, because that's the
Mhm.
template they learned back there in childhood in doing sexual stuff. So there's some big issues that are stored up, which I then, the psychosexual therapist, now pick up with individuals because it's showing itself as soon as in their teens and their 20s because of what they have been dining out on for so many years back there before they get into partnered relationships.
Right. Which obviously, again, as we talk about generational thinking, um, if it's not dealt with, it can lead to a lot of perhaps unknowingly, again, like mirroring sort of situation. Um,
Addictions get passed on, Cameron.
I
Addictions get
believe
passed
that.
on to the next generation. And so
Mm,
constantly I'm doing a history taking. I came across when I was age 10, 12, and she never knew. And I kept going back and viewing. And so now that we don't have magazines and it's on phones, our youngsters are so techy and skillful. They come across something on a parent's phone, and somehow parents never even know. They go back somehow and access and find when they get their own phone, and they get set up with some scripts. So porn, sex addiction, well, I should just say addictions, get passed on to the next generation. What we want to do is address our own stuff in order to limit the window of opportunity for it to be passed on to the next generation. And remember, porn, sex is not about porn. It's not about sex. It's all about a way of self-soothing and managing emotions. That's what's going on. But over the years of going back to the behaviors, what I'm doing is the hamster wheel. When I feel negative, this is what I do. Feel, then they get paired up. When I feel, this is just what I do. When I feel, this is what I do. What they don't realize, though, is the body had become use dependent on the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin fix,
mm,
potent neurochemicals, and the physiology of their body got changed to become use dependent on those drugs. So what they become addicted to is not porn and sex, it's those chemicals to get it into their body. And it's all about the chase, the anticipation, the expectation, the click on the mouse on the next page, which is pumping those dopamine into the body. It's not the sex. Often the sex is a wet squid, an anticlimax. I do mean it as a pun.
mm.
It's the chase.
It's the chase. And so, like anything, really, when we talk about neurotransmitters, the brain can be rewired, when you're addicted
Yes, it
to
can.
become, yeah.
Yeah, it
And
can.
so, and so that's your work, right? Is looking at that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's a really important message is you can recover from porn, sex, love addiction. Absolutely. The brain can be rewired. But please, people, there cannot be a quick fix because what we're not working with is what you've been doing for the past 5 years or so. What we're going after is what happened back there as coping strategies, even if it's not porn, learning to go to your room, to play with your Lego, your game console for hours, moving away from people. You're going after coping strategies that the brain gave you back there that then just moved up levels when the more intense things like porn got added to the mix. I hope that makes some sort of sense.